What's up, guitar friends? Welcome back to a new episode. This week, we are going to tackle trying to get faster on the guitar. Let's do it. So speed on the guitar neck is what all of us guitar players are striving to do, right? We all want to move down to Georgia and battle the devil and steal the golden fiddle. It's just one of those things that as soon as you get the guitar, you're just pushing yourself to move faster and faster. But there are steps to take, and there's good routes, some bad routes. You also don't want to get locked up in the idea that you need to play fast, because you really don't. Guitar is a very versatile instrument, and we can go a whole different direction and achieve a lot of really cool sounds without trying to just shred all the time. That being said, we do want to try to get faster. It's always good to push yourself, but I suggest doing those things in levels. So if you're just starting out, it might not be a great idea to try to play Eruption. Not that you can't get there, but it's just a huge leap from, say, level 1 or 2 to like level 9 or 10 and playing some Van Halen stuff. So that's one tip I would say. 2 is, just like anything else you're trying to do fast, you need to start out slow. I know that sounds simple, but it's hard to sort of get that in your brain. Like, you know, walking to running, or just even playing sports. Like if you're playing basketball and you want to do that layup dribble, first you have to learn how to run with the ball, then dribble with it, then do the layup, and there's all kinds of steps that you can do to make that one move great. So definitely try things slow and then try to progress them as you go. Another good tip is to learn phrases and pieces of scales, or scales in general, that you want to use and learn things that sound good to you. Say like arpeggios or little blues licks, 3-note licks. These are all things that you can incorporate into, say, a solo or a riff that you're doing when you're improvising. And once you kind of have those things down, they become muscle memory. Instead of just trying to figure out what you're trying to do on the spot, you have a go-to phrase, a go-to riff, this one pull of notes you have that will sound really cool. And when you do that, what happens is, like I said, you start out a little bit slow, you learn the phrase, and you get to that part and you just do-do-do-do-do, and you rip it out because you just remember it that quick. It's muscle memory, you can do it. So that's a really good tip and something that's helped me a lot. So to help you guys out, I'm going to show you a few things that really started me when I was trying to improv solo, riff, just play faster in general. I'm going to show you a pentatonic scale. We're going to go into a little blues lick, little riff that's pretty cool. And then I'm going to show you some of the hammer-on things, very reminiscent of like Iron Maiden solos, stuff like that, that will really get your fingers trying to move and build that muscle in your hand that will build the overall hand speed. Because once your hand gets stronger and you can kind of tap your fingers quicker, that obviously helps out. Now, disclaimer, I am not the fastest guitar player by any means, but these are things that help me, and I figured if it helped me, you definitely help other people out here. So here's some of those tips. So like I said, the first thing we're going to do is the pentatonic scale. So this is a scale we can play anywhere on the neck. We're going to start with our root note. Today we're going to learn it in A. I just feel like visually it's probably the easiest, but this is movable all over. So what we're going to do is identify our A note, which is our root, and we can start from there. So A is our 5th fret on our 6th string right here, right? That is our A note. So when we do a pentatonic scale, our next note is going to be the 4th fret up. So if this is 1, and we go 2, 3, 4, right? So that would be our C. So think of it as 1, root note, 4. And then when you think about it like that, we jump to the next string and we go 1, 3. Next string is 1, 3. Next string is 1, 3. Next string is 1, 4. And the next string is 1, 4. So altogether it's 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. And that's a very typical scale of blues, rock and roll, classic rock, and it's the foundation for other things like your minor scale, you can move into major scales, things that are in metal and other stuff like that when you add some accent notes, passing notes, things like that. We'll get into that later. But this is your very basic scale, and it's really cool because you can play along to pretty much anything and just use that pattern once you figure out the key, which will be your root note. So like this is A. Let's say you wanted to move it to G. You just find your G note right down here and do the same exact pattern. Now you know G is your 1, and you go 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4, and you can go back down 4 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1. That's a scale you can move all over. You can make little patterns out of it. Just have fun with that. Play it. Play along to some songs maybe know the key of. It's really cool. It's helped me a lot, especially when I was younger, just trying to figure out how to solo to a song or play along or improvise, whatever. It's one of the best beginner scales I think you can possibly learn. So take it from me. I'm not an expert. So the next one we're going to do is in the pentatonic scale, we're going to do solo like a blues riffs. It's a little bit of a bend, 2 bends, and some string, I guess. I don't even know what you'd call it. Like, so you're hitting strings while you're bending. I don't know. There's got to be a cool word for that. I don't know what it is. But so we're in our pentatonic scale. We'll use A again just to keep it seamless. So, right? Right here in the scale, there is this note we can bend. And it sounds really awesome. Now, what you do is you bend that note with your ring finger, and then behind it, with your index finger, you hit the 2 notes on the ones up here at the top of the scale. So they go like this. Right? And then how we end it is we go to this 4th note here, and we bend this up to our root. So it sounds like this. This is pretty cool. You could do it like that. You could also bend and then hit the 1st string, 2nd string, and then your bend, which sounds cool too. Either way, but that's something cool. You could be soloing and just kind of phrase that in, or you could use it to end like a solo or phrase or something like that, but it's just a cool little lick. It also helps you learn some bends. Again, finger strength. When you try to do those bends, you're using muscles in your hands you wouldn't normally use, and when you do that, you build finger strength. So the last thing I told you guys is we're going to do a little bit of finger exercise, a little bit of like finger hammer-on, pull-off, tapping sort of things that happen in a lot of really fast solos. It sounds way cooler, I guess, than it really is. It's just sort of 2 notes that we're gonna hammer on and off. But if you do this a lot, what happens is you build this speed up, and as you're playing solos and riffs, things that are fast become easier because your hand can handle it. No pun intended. So again, we'll stay in the A scale, but say we have this little part here right in the middle of the scale, the 1 3 1 3 1 3, right? A lot of times in a fast solo, someone will take that little piece 1 3 1 3 1 3, and instead of just going like, they'll do something like this, right? That sounds just kind of cooler. It's still just those notes, but you're just making them a lot faster by hammering on and pulling off. So hammer on means you hit this note, and without hitting the string again with your pick, you put your ring finger down on that note, and you hear it makes the next note, right? And then what you do is, same idea, you don't hit the string, and if your ring finger is here, you pull off, and then this note rings out. So you go, right? So we got 3 notes by hitting the string 1 time. And that's kind of the idea here, is we can go. So the more we do that, the better we'll get at it. And it's no problem if you're starting out and you hit it and you go. That's perfectly fine. I did that for ages. A lot of guys do it for ages. Very few guitarists just pick up a guitar and are like, it just doesn't work like that. So don't get frustrated, stick with it. It's gonna suck, but yeah, if you get that going, you can do that all over the place. Maybe even try it on the 1/4, you get that pinky involved. See, I still have trouble doing that too. I don't practice that enough myself, but bring it back. But yeah, those are the licks. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that lesson. Get shredding, get moving those fingers. I'm telling you, if it sounds not good right now or it's just too slow, just keep practicing, keep at it, you'll get it. I'm telling you, you'll get it. If I got it, anybody could get it. So keep going. As always, I'll be here every week for your guitar stuff. Subscribe to the channel, comment, like, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next week. Rock on.